Peace and love, everybody. This is Master Ty from Master Ty's Combat Calisthenics. Today we want to be talking about how to block yourself, how to protect yourself. And when we're talking about this, remember we got to be talking about the defense first. Remember, as the ancients say, your best defense is your offense. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a good defense, okay? Good defensive skills, all right, so that you can pay the bills. Now, first, I want to give honor where honor's due. Shout out to my instructor, Grandmaster JB the Puppet. Supreme Grandmaster JB the Puppet. That's his name. So we just want to give shout out. And he taught me so much about the art when I first started my first class, and what's now called a Show Tai Flow Chi, but back then it was called the Combat Tai Chi, you know, and just learned so much about the skills, blocking, and also how to attack as well. So one of the first lessons, y'all, that we're gonna go into right now is this. A strike is a block, and a block is a strike. Listen, you can use that same hand that you block the attack with to strike with. Yes, you can use a block also to pop. You can use a block to pop somebody with, you know, and just keep in mind too also when you're kicking somebody with that foot, you can use that same kick in order to protect yourself with. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's so many different ways to express your blocking system. And that's just talking about another thought, which was it only takes a small amount of force to block an attack, just like a nail uprooting a train. And the idea behind some of this, guys, is that, listen, you don't need a whole bunch of power in order to derail the attack, in order to get the attack away from you. You don't need to be getting all tensed up. You only need to relax, breathe, take care of that situation, and then you hit them with some of your stimulation. The Clock of Destiny, shout out to my man Shaka Zulu, you know, who teaches the ninjutsu and also the jujitsu. He showed me that footwork is very important, you know, which is also called the Tosabaki, also called the Clock of Destiny. So that's right, you got to learn how to move left and right. You got to know how to move forward and back. You got to know how to move up and down as the combat is going down. Very important skills, guys. And even as you know, we also going to talk about the boxing flow. You know, even as I started to go with some of the OGs in boxing, you know, shout out to those who showed me the thought about the boxing. Listen, you got the ducks, you got the slips, you got the ducks, and all of this is a part of you being able to defend yourself. As my instructor used to say, listen, the attack is going to come up, down, left, or right. So make sure you keep the center right. Make sure you keep your mind right. And once again, guys, don't forget, from boxing to MMA to Tai Chi, they're always showing you, know the different directions, just like learning around the planet Earth when you're learning about your map skills. Going forward, going back, going left and right, going up and to the side, going up and to the other side, going back to the other side. You know what I'm saying? You got to know all of these different regions, all these different directions, you know? So make sure you get with that flow. Taking it back to the bob and weaving. Every boxer know this. First thing you learn in boxing in regard to defense, keep your hands up at all times. This is what I tell my students. Keep your hands up at all times, you know. Remember, Mayweather had this situation in a fight, and, you know, soon as Fam dropped his hands, you know, he showed him the plan. And the main thing is, guys, you got to keep your hands up, you know, no matter what happens. Keep your hands up at all times as you're on the grind. And going into the next skills, make sure you guys, you work on those rope skills. That's right, working on bobbing and weaving and different things like that. Make sure you use the rope going underneath, you know what I'm saying? Then after you get them basic skills, building up your legs, building up your waist, you can also start to add the fundamental punches to these techniques. So make sure you get with a qualified instructor. Shout out to the 52 experts who show me how to make this thing work. That's right, you got to make that thing work. So listen, you can learn from boxing, you can learn from the 52. Shout out to Professor Mo, to Light Burley, to Daniel Marks, you know, some of the brothers that's doing it, you know, and they making sure that they keep the art. Also, my grandmaster, JB the Puppet, you know, he knew the 52 as well. It's so important, guys, that you have your options, know your options as you're learning how to defend yourself. a basic fundamental art, which I also saw in reverse knockout. Shout out to Grandmaster, what's his name, Reno Morales, and also Crescendo Lamar Thornton. The basic duck, guys. Get that basic ducking skills, you know, to pay the bills. You know, instead of just doing the yoga, you got to know how to also just stretch down, and knowing how that applies to also your combat skills, and not just always just stretching. You know, you also got the money team, Money Mayweather, one of the best to do it. Knowing how to duck, knowing how to use the shuffle, as you got to protect yourself. He's one of the best that do it. Money Mayweather, very good at learning how to defend himself. You know, getting out the situation, using your footwork, using your shuffle. We in the gym all the time doing the shuffle, and we got to know how to apply the blocks to that shuffle as well. Tai Chi. The real Tai Chi is all about combat, y'all. Not just breathing, which is the fundamentals, but also learning how to go left and right, knowing how to go up and down as the situation goes down, knowing how to protect yourself, which we call Shinna. If you're doing Tai Chi, learn about the push hands. Learn about the Shinna, which is seizing and controlling, which is also similar to the Shaolin Shinna, which we're going to talk about later on. Learning how to take your basic moves like the open preparation, blocking up high, blocking down low, as you let that defense flow. Guys, don't forget, defense is your offense and your offense is your defense. It all flows together as you're going through the sequence. So these are some things we need to know about blocking, y'all. Unless you're just doing a dance, if you don't know how to apply it. Once again, in Tai Chi, in the real Tai Chi combat, you got to know how to use the push hands in combat. Know that all of these different skills that you're learning about breathing, that you're learning as you condition your body, as you're going through the main form, which is your slow form, you also got to know how to speed up your form so that you can be able to protect yourself, okay? And also protect your health. That goes hand in hand. And as we talking about blocks, don't forget, you got the high block that you learn in the Okinawa and the Japanese arts. You got your low block, okay? Make sure that you also know that you got the outside block. And you got the inside block. If you remember that movie called The Karate Kid, you remember how he was painting the fence? That's right. He was painting the fence and showing you those basic skills that they even show you in Tai Chi. You know, we got the knife hand block. That's right. We got all these different blocks that we do in our katas and our ponseis. Even in the Korean system, that's what they call ponseis. And we got to know the bunkai. We got to know the applications of these techniques, how to apply it in a real situation. And guys, don't forget also, as you're doing these blocks, remember the up, down, the outer, the inner block. You got to remember also, guys, that you can utilize these techniques in a combat situation. Blocking the kicks, blocking the strikes, whatever may come to you. As I like to say in the spiritual, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No, let me say that again. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So you got to know how to apply your blocks. Instead of going to the gym and punching air, you got to know how to punch in the right place to take care of that situation. Peace out once again to the 52 masters. All right, Light Burley and Daniel Marks. You know how to do that head tap. Know how to do that elbow tap. All right, so many different techniques, guys, in the 52 block system, and they're showing you that you got to know how to defend yourself. You got to know how to defend your health. That's right, y'all. It all works together. Y'all know that divine law. Everything is connected. Also, once again, you got to know, I forgot this brother name, believe it's Brother D, in the place to be. I hope I got that right. But if not, I'm going to keep on rocking this mic. Guys, you need to know that, guys, the 52 system, you got the skull and crossbones and all of these other different zones that show you how to block your body, how to block your head. Once again, you got the head tap, you got the elbow tap. You also might have to give them an old school pimp slap. That's right, y'all. You got to know how to protect yourself. All right, y'all. And don't forget, y'all, as my sensei would used to say, you got the forehands, which also connect to the Muay Thai blocks, which we're going to talk about a little later. You got the forehands. That's right, y'all. You got to take that hand and you got to take that other hand and you put those hands on the elbow hands. And what you got? You got 4 techniques. That's right, y'all. Take that elbow and that other elbow, and that's another way that you can flow. All right. But first, let's talk about the other hands, which is the trap hands. So you got the push hands, you got the forehands, and you got the trap hands. Guys, you got to know how to trap those hands up. It's a little bit different from the parrying, which they teach you in boxing. You got to know how to trap those hands, y'all. Trap those hands, and then you got to show them the plan. All right? Once again, if you fail the plan, you plan to already fail. So let's continue to talk about these trap hands. If you study the art, and if you study the art called Panatukan, they also start to show you that you also have the dummy, which is the Wing Chun dummy. A great way that you can also utilize your Kung Fu if you're doing the Wing Chun Kung Fu, but you can also utilize these different techniques on the wooden dummy. Some of the OGs also use the poles. My instructor also used to use the trees in order to develop this. You also got a lot of internal arts that show you how to express this. Bruce Lee was another one who learned the push hands and the trap hands. You know, he took Wing Chun to another level. And guys, don't forget, all these different expressions of martial arts can give you ideas on how you can utilize your blocking system. So you must do what works for you. As Master Bruce Lee would say, do what works for you and disregard those things that do not work for you. All right, but let's keep it moving. Once again, guys, when we're talking about forehands, we also talking about the Muay Thai plan. That's right, Thai boxing is a very excellent way in order to learn the self-defense skills. Okay, we used to learn this in my martial art camp as well. All right, how everything connects. Make sure you connect that hand to the foot and that foot to the hand. All right, use these different things in order to protect yourself. So right, even in learning kickboxing or learning Muay Thai, there's a lot of different ways that you can learn to defend yourself, that you can learn to block. And don't forget, guys, after you block, you gotta hit them. You gotta hit them. You block and then you pop, because if you don't do that, they're gonna wind up hitting you. And yes, I do understand. You got to get some to give some. Yes, you can do that. But I got some quotes I'm gonna show you later on this, because there's a lot of ancient wisdom in these different arts with the theories that also give you a better way to express defense. So let me give you one as we showing you the Muay Thai skills. Once again, as I said earlier, a good offense, you got to have a good defense. Once again, these goes hand in hand, guys. You can use a block in order to pop them. You know what I'm saying? And you can use the pop in order to block, okay? When we're talking about how to defend yourself, all right? Another technique I want to give y'all, okay, before we go, guys. This is Master Ty, once again, from Master Ty's Combat Calisthenics. Stay in shape, guys. One of the best ways that you can protect yourself is keeping your body and your mind in shape, okay? As we learn, the mind strengthens the body, and the body strengthens the mind. That's one of the first things that I learned when I learned to defend myself, all right, is basic stretching and conditioning the body. So this is what it's all about, guys. I come to give you that motivation, that inspiration, and that perspiration. So listen, guys, stay in shape. If you go to the gym, work on your flexibility, work on your mobility, guys. Work on your agility. Very important. So I gotta get ready to flow, y'all. Let me know how you like this video, and if you got some other things that you need so that we can make some videos to give you. We also got, guys, some free videos that we giving out in our video library, so make sure you hit me up. We got the courses coming up soon, guys, so make sure you stay tuned. Once again, this is Master Ty with Master Ty's Combat Calisthenics, And when you get a chance, don't forget, guys, we also got that TV show, Fitness the Right Way TV show.